Hello, it's Betabrick, and today I've got this mock to show you. So, yeah, let's get into it. For those of you who don't know, which, to be fair, is probably a lot of you, favelas are informal settlements or shanties specific to the country of Brazil. They're usually built on unwanted land without adequate infrastructure or utilities. In the street I built, each part would have been built on top of one another over decades. But enough the geography lesson, let's look at the Lego. Oh, and a note before I begin, I didn't complete anything outside of the view of the front or inside, so just pretend that there's more in there. The main inspiration for this mock came from this photo of a steep and narrow favela street. So that's what I started with. I really wanted to capture the slope of the street, and that's what I built the mock around in the beginning. This path actually has 3 different angles, including this one sticking out at the back to fill in space. To fill in the gap between the sections, I extended some plates and tiles from both sides and put some slopes over top. To get a broken asphalt look, I used a mixture of studs and tiles to fill in the cracks, and I used some broken scraps of bricks. This piece of paper here is actually the back of a sticker sheet I'll get back to later, but it makes it fully purist and it looks really good as some old garbage. Including this soccer ball, or futebol, in Brazil was an excellent idea from one of my classmates who also suggested I add the Brazilian flag somewhere, though I didn't have the parts to do that. This section at the front here is just a bare wall with some trash on the ground and some posters and paint on the walls. For this one, I pulled out the stickers from my mutilated Manchester United Go Brick Me sticker sheet and applied the number 10. Each of the walls in this street has tons of different techniques and designs to get some really cool textures and details. This brown one has a snot wall with a non-snot window, some built-in piping details, and an inset doorway. The sand green one here is my favorite, with a sort of entryway set in from the street, some textured walls, this broom, and the partially open snot doorway. The white section is pretty normal, with some snot windows and a few metal things sticking out of the walls. This tan section has a window sticking out, and while I didn't have a good window piece that fit in the frame, I had this shutter piece, which could only stick out and looked perfect. The windowsill also has a ghetto blaster sitting out. This blue one has some cheese slope cracks made with Technic pins, some wires sticking out, and some more snot windows. To make up for the lack of medium blue parts, I used some bright light blue instead and tried to make it look like a stain or something. This wall is made of medium nougat. I love medium nougat. It's a great color. I need more of it. Anyways, I did this 1x1 to the ledge as a broken brick detail. Down on the other side of the street, I have some wall chunks to raise the rest of the building to a street level. They're both filled with crack details, and this one has a pipe sticking out. This yellow section is another one I like for its very slight brick detailing made with 1x2 tiles and jumper plates. The window on this one is also pretty interesting. I wanted to use this specific window piece I'd gotten already super scratched up from a thrift store bulk lot. I didn't have any good window frames for it, so I ended up sticking it as much of as I could in and used this piece I cut from a Lego sticker sheet to attach the rest. It kind of looks like a window hastily repaired with some duct tape. Next to it is this stud snot and top wall in medium nougat again. This one has a window pane squished between the plates in a way that makes it look like it's falling apart. This gray one has some details below it to look like support. In this one, I had some snot sections with some variety. Finally, there's a small dark orange wall with some textured details. It was pretty challenging to find enough different realistic colors and shades to make each section. I also tried to make sure there was a satisfying amount of difference in how the walls were offset, some by half a stud, some by a whole stud, and even by half a plate. Something you see in almost any photo of a favela is large masses of power lines everywhere. A lot of these are usually jerry-rigged together to provide power to the whole favela. I knew I needed to include a lot of power lines in my own MOC, so I found any flexible black piece I had that might work and threw them together. I used some different types of string, including twisting them together, some cable pieces, and whips. I also used a black life preserver piece as some coiled up cable. Most of the strings and cables are built into or stick out of the walls. For this roof, I wanted a worn down corrugated metal look, which I achieved using some grill plates alternated with tiles and some studs mixed in. It has a couple more cables sticking out and a satellite TV antenna I made using a few bar and clip pieces. Water containers are a common sight in most lower income areas, including favelas, because of the unreliable water supply in these areas. This one was made simply with some curved slopes and snot pieces. This other roof was made to look much more thrown together than the corrugated one, with different panels and studs and tiles everywhere. This MOC was a stray from my usual build style and theme. I've never tried to remake a real world scene in this way before. All complete, I'm really happy with it, and if you have any suggestions for other MOCs in the style, or even just any other MOCs in general, leave them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching, leave a like, and check out some more of my videos. Have a nice day.